So welcome back, beautiful people. How we all doing today? For those of you returning for another one of my videos, again, thank you. Much appreciated. For those of you new to my channel, this is Skelly by Nature. I am Skelly, and here we talk about all kinds of different things about nature. So today's video, I've had a few people ask me what I like to do or what I do as a natural tick treatment. As you can see from the flowers, no flowers, the garden, we're in early spring here, very early spring. It's actually the end of March, and so people have asked me, what I do for ticks in my yard. So today I'm going to tell you the little tips and tricks that I use, that I do all the time, every year, and never have a problem with ticks. My dogs don't get ticks. I've seen them jump off them and onto me. I don't get them in my yard. So again, this is I'm going to teach you what I do to help keep ticks out of my yard. So my first tip is obviously cut your lawn often. The more you cut your lawn, the more you're keeping that shade out. The idea of driving ticks away is they don't like sunlight and they don't like rough environments. So those are the kind of the two keys. Hi, Mook. You gonna say hi, Mook? So this is Mookie. Mookie saying hi. Say hi, Mook. So, like I was saying, they don't like sunlight and they don't like rough surfaces. So that's two of the things that we're going to kind of use to our advantage to help control ticks, as well as I'm going to introduce you to some essential oils and things like that we can do to help avoid having ticks in our yard. So cut your lawn often, keep it low. As a landscaper, I'll tell you, cut your lawn at 2.5 to 3 inches, and that's best. Secondly, the best thing to do is try to remove any piles like leaves or any piles of wood, and anywhere that ticks might have the ability to be able to find a little dark hidden spot and be able to stay there. So those are the things that you want to kind of eliminate out of your yard. Get piles and junk out of it. So that's another tip. Secondly, trim your bushes. If you can control your bushes, again, the more shade around in your yard, the more you're going to have the possibility of finding ticks. So if you trim your bushes nice and tight, it allows a little more sunlight. And when you do that too as well, bring your bush up. So trim those bottom limbs a little bit up, so then that way you can have sun hitting the bottom of the soil. If there's sun at the bottom of the soil, they're not going to get into the bush itself and hide in the bushes either. So we're gonna, again, we're opening up. We're using the sunlight to our advantage. So that's my second tip. My third tip is try to create barriers. So if you have a yard, and say you have dogs like I do, and you have a fully fenced in yard, if you're going to say put a fence in, one good thing that you can do is put a line of mulch or stone between what would be your yard and the fence. That way, it creates a stopping barrier for the ticks. If they're in your neighbor's yard, they're not going to cross over. I'm one that I have a lot of flower gardens. So I'm one that, I've got mulch that I mulch in the yard. I have rocks along the sides of my yard. I have mulch beds on the back side of my yard. And then if you look way in the back, I have the whole entire back behind my fence is all wood chips. And if you're going to be using wood chips, your best bet is to try to find someone who has cedar wood or hemlock. Those are two that the ticks don't like. Cedar has a smell and has an oil that is actually capable of killing your ticks. So if you're going to be mulching, try to find a good cedar mix or cedar mulch. A lot of times, if you want, I'm one that my way backyard is done with. I found tree guys down the street and just said, "Hey, dump it in my yard, and and use up whatever they got if they're doing some cedar trees or something like that." So, create barriers around the yard using cedar mulch or a type of stone, like a rough stone, not a smooth stone, but a rough stone. That will help as well, like I said, stopping ticks and fleas from coming into your yard. Um, the fourth tip I'm going to give you is use your environment. We can use and plant different types of plants. I'm one that I try to do a little bit of sustainable planting. As a landscaper, when I do designs, I keep in mind of how to be able to make a bed design with more than just the typical plants that you see in your environment or around. Many landscapers use the same plants, they use the same things all the time in the same design. And so I like to kind of change things up. One, it makes it look a little nicer. And two, I do it so that there's multiple purposes for each plant. So, using plants like mint or garlic or peppermint, you got rosemary, you got sage, lavender, marigolds, lemongrass. Those are plants that will help deter fleas and ticks from coming into your yard. The scent, they're basically working on a scent. When they smell the mint, they don't like to be near it. If they smell garlic, they don't like to be near it. Same thing with peppermint. And the other nice thing about using or those plants into your garden is you can use them in multiple ways. So if you have mint and garlic and peppermint, and rosemary or sage, lavender, if you're someone like me who likes to make my own essential oils, you're growing a plant that's not only serving a purpose as to keeping the fleas and ticks out of your yard, but they're also giving you the ability to, if you're someone like me who loves to cook as well, I can always go out and cut some fresh mint. I can get some fresh garlic. And if I want to get some sage, I can also turn that into oils as well, which I have videos on my channel. If you're interested in doing that, I get different videos to show you how to change and take your sage or your mint and turn that into oils, which you'll see later on how I use peppermint oil to help deter fleas and ticks. So those are four main things that you can do to your yard itself to help deter fleas and ticks from coming into your yard. So the second thing the fifth thing I should say, is cedar oil mix. Okay, so like I was saying earlier, cedar oil actually has the ability to kill and repel ticks. And what I do is I have a sprayer. I mix up a mixture and I go around and I start in the perimeter and I start spraying and I make my way into the middle of my yard until I get my yard fully covered, spraying a lot of the spots that might be, more potential areas for ticks to be. So if I have an area like over here to my left that doesn't get to see a lot of sunlight during the day, I'm going to spray that quite heavy with the oil. Now, to make the oil, what I do is I use a half a cup of oil for every gallon I mix. So if you have a 1 gallon sprayer, you're going to be using a half a cup of cedar oil. You can buy your cedar oil. A lot of hardware stores have cedar oil, or you can do what I do, actually collect cedar and soak it and create an oil. And then I put that mixture into my gallon. So other options that you can use besides cedar oil is you can use garlic, you can use peppermint, you can also use diatomaceous earth as well, is another powder that you can put onto your lawn and use that as well for flea and tick deterrent. Lastly, the last thing you obviously want to do is treat your dogs. If you're one that uses a flea and tick med, that's fine if you would like that. I don't care for it. I'm one that I actually use a natural flea and tick med on my dogs, and I will include, I do have a video that I've already done on how you can use peppermint oil, change that into a flea and tick deterrent. And so when I put my dogs out, you know, if we're going to go for a hike or we're going to put them outside, what I like to do sometimes is, if I like to just spray a oil on the bottom of their feet, down their legs, a little bit across their back. Don't spray it anywhere near their faces. Try to keep it on, you know, the top and the bottoms. If they're treated in those areas, then you're less liable to find them. And that allows, again, for you to be able to go out, and I do go out and go into the woods and go out and let them be free in the yard and not have to worry about fleas and ticks. So those are my little secrets, and I hope you guys all learned a little something today. If so, do me a favor, hit that like button down below if you enjoyed the video, as well as subscribe to my channel, and as well share this video with people that you know who also have animals that would like a natural way of treating their yard. So again, until the next video, be beautiful, be awesome.